So you found a treasure trove of DVDs in your garage, right? You happily take it into your living room and it dawns on you. Wait, do I even own anything that plays DVDs anymore? Cut to memories of you tossing out your DVD player ages ago. Bummer. So you hop online and immediately find out that there are also Blu-ray and 4K UHD players out there now. You say to yourself,
gotta be a difference, right? Correct. I'm Ian Osborne, and this is Acoustics Tech Tips. DVD players and DVDs were introduced in 1997. And at the time, they were wildly successful, selling billions of copies, as well as billions of rentals from places like Blockbuster Video, since there was no such thing as streaming back then. DVD players capped out at 480p standard definition and could hold roughly 4.7 gigabytes worth of data per layer. When did Blu-ray players and Blu-ray discs come out? 2006, baby. See, DVD players had a red laser that read the information on a DVD. And what did Blu-ray players have? You guessed it, a blue laser, which had a much smaller wavelength than the red laser used in DVD players, which meant much tighter data pits on the disc itself and far more storage capacity. How much storage, you ask? Well, there were two types, 25 gigabyte single layer or 50 gigabyte dual layer discs. Blu-ray players and accompanying discs could also support up to 1080p HD resolution, which was perfect for your brand new 2007 model 1080p HD TV. So when did 4K Blu-ray players and their corresponding 4K Blu-ray discs come out? 10 years after Blu-ray in 2016, with 4 times the resolution of HD Blu-ray. Were there also two types of Blu-ray discs? Why yes, there are. 66 gigabyte versions and all the way up to 100 gigabyte versions. In addition, 4K Blu-ray discs introduced HDR, or high dynamic range, which means brighter brights and much deeper blacks than its HD counterpart. I dive into those details a little bit more thoroughly in this companion video, going over the differences between the discs, if you happen to come across this video first, just FYI. So turning our attention back to this garage box full of dusty DVDs, should you get a DVD player nowadays to play all of these DVDs that you have found? Long story short, no. And here's why. With all the connections on your TV largely being HDMI nowadays, and the fact that your old DVD player most likely has these yellow, red, and white RCA connections, I would opt for at least a Blu-ray player, since it will have HDMI connections on the back. But wait, for Christmas earlier this year, my friend gifted me this box set of 4K Ultra HD versions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Can I pop this into my old DVD player? No, my friend. A DVD player is unfortunately not forward compatible. But do you know what is 100% backwards compatible?
a 4K Blu-ray player.
Yep, this bad boy supports playback of 4K UHD discs, Blu-ray discs, and DVDs alike. Can I save some money and get a Blu-ray player and still be able to play my new 4K UHD versions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy? No, sorry, once again, not forward compatible. But a Blu-ray player can play all those DVDs you found in that old dusty box in the garage. So that's something to consider. So just a quick recap. A DVD player can only play DVDs. A Blu-ray player can play Blu-rays and DVDs. A 4K UHD player can play 4K discs, Blu-ray discs, and DVDs. So what's the best investment in the long run? You guessed it, a 4K UHD player, because it will play every movie disc conceivable. Even if you don't own any 4K UHD discs right now, I would still invest in a 4K UHD player to future-proof for when you finally do upgrade to those kinds of physical media. Since I just got a 4K TV from Costco, if I watch a DVD, will that automatically make it 4K quality? No, at least not true 4K quality. But all 4K UHD TVs nowadays do have upscaling tech inside that will take your 480p DVD resolution and blow it up to fit the confines of your new TV. So it will fill all of those pixels within the frame of your TV, but it will not make it true 4K quality. Watching a DVD on a 4K UHD TV means that it'll probably look a little weird, some detail is a little lost, it might look a little bit washed out as far as the colors are concerned, because the TV itself is doing its very best to try and fill all of those gaps, having upscaled the quality. But it is doable. I mean, DVDs are still being released today, even with newer movies. So obviously there's a demand for it. But I will say this, even Blu-ray discs can look stunning when upscaled on a 4K UHD TV. So that's another way to save money these days by buying the Blu-ray copy, because the 4K copy is always going to be much more expensive. So the quick takeaway, DVD standard definition, Blu-ray full HD, 4K UHD highest quality Ultra HD with HDR. And 4K UHD players have all the backwards compatibility that you will ever need. A truly worthy investment if you're thinking about collecting physical media again. In fact, you know which brand I currently recommend if you're going to get a 4K UHD player? Panasonic. Depending on your budget and the bells and whistles that you want, there is the UB420, UB450, UB820, and UB9000. The UB420, for example, is still the least expensive, and yet it still comes in at around $300. So like I said, it's an investment, but it will last you a long time because of its fully backwards compatibility. Because guess what? All manufacturers have literally done away with their investments into 8K televisions. So 8K Blu-ray players and 8K discs are probably never going to be a thing. So your 4K UHD player will last you 10, 20 years maybe? Yeah. So now that you know the difference between the different disc types and the different player types, where on earth can you actually buy discs nowadays? Because it's not as easy as just going into Best Buy and Target now, because they do not carry physical media on their store shelves anymore. Well, you can find that answer in this video right here. See you there.